Yeah, we did we had our annual dinner, we give our members awards, and the town supervisor was there, and she's like, the public doesn't get to see this. I'm like, that's a good point.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we're gonna do the important ones again.
Very
for
good.
everybody to see it, and
That's the way to do it. Yep.
hopefully recruit. If people see it.
Yeah, especially because they show it online. Too.
Right,
They
and I
stream
think
it.
a lot of the newer people in town don't realize what's going on here.
Yes. Yeah.
I've had a lot of people ask over the last, especially since COVID, they're like, oh, how's the job? How's the pay? I'm like, what pay?
It's the same.
Zero.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So, good.
Excellent.
So you're doing all right?
Yeah, look, you got a big presentation today.
I do once a month.
Oh, just
my
monthly
from
report.
6:30 to 7. We do it. So we were just in executive session. So I'm done.
Oh, okay. I probably should pay more attention to town board meetings, but generally, this is like literally the second one I've ever been to.
Good. It does. You're not missing anything.
It seems like it.
I make a motion to come out of executive session for the police commission meeting and to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Perfect timing. Okay, welcome everybody to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of July 14th, 2026. We'll start with attendance.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a quick announcement. Senator Weber is going to be sponsoring a blood drive here at Orangetown Town Hall on Thursday, July 30th from 1 to 7. So you can register. You can walk in, but I think they prefer people register if they can. Next, we have a presentation. We have some presentations. We have the South Orangetown Ambulance Corps Awards presentation. This came about because I was at their annual dinner, and they were calling up, and everyone was getting their honors for all the lives they saved and all these great things. And I said, this should really be done at a town board meeting so that the public can hear about all the great things that you do. And they jumped right on it, and the chief over there was like, we're coming. So anyway, I think it's a great idea. I don't think the public really knows how much you guys do, so I think this is a perfect opportunity to give the presentations for, the awards and to acknowledge you guys, so.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Supervisor, Town Board. So I'll just introduce myself and our agency real quick. I know a lot of people don't realize what we are and what we do. My name is Kyle Weiss. I'm Chief of South Orangetown Ambulance Corps. We are a volunteer ambulance corps serving the hamlets that make up the South Orangetown area. which is Blauvelt, Orangeburg, Spark Hill, Palisades, and Tapan. And we've been here since 1957, relying almost entirely on volunteers. So that's what we do. We've got some outstanding volunteers. We've grown since 1957 with a singular ambulance in a tiny little station to a fleet of 4 ambulances, Special Operations Division, and a Youth Division. And if you've driven down Independence Avenue, you've probably seen all the construction going on we are adding 4 more garages because we need to keep growing. And we do need more volunteers if anyone's interested. Because of our volunteers, we've been able to sustain our operation and grow. And so like Supervisor Kenny said, we wanted to recognize the outstanding work our volunteers do. I'm going to start with the top 10 riders. These are hours served exclusively on an ambulance. This is not really indicative of everything some of these people do. Not everybody's here because some people are on the ambulance tonight, and we've got 2 ambulances actually at hospitals currently, and another one here. So our top 10 for volunteering hours on the ambulance, we've got Laura Kelly with 614 hours, who's not here. Sorry, thank you, Allison. Brendan Skolin with 621 hours, and he's also our captain, so that comes with lots of other work. And Laura's also our vice president. Here tonight, May Passarotti with 637 hours. If you'd like to come up. It was always awkward. Myself with 647 hours. I never know what to do when I give myself an award. Elena Lee with 759 hours. I got it this time. Peter Romisher with 798 hours and did not make it here on time. Here tonight with us, of course, is Glenn Albin with 812 hours. Sir. And now our top 3 with an insane amount of hours. Maya Better with 888 hours. Jessica Locke with 956 hours. And just ahead at number 1 for the 2nd year in a row, and probably will be 3 in a row, Bella Matthew with 966 hours. So as you can see, a lot of our volunteers have put in hundreds of hours, and that doesn't include a lot of the other work that gets done. In addition to that, we've got some years of service awards. One is also for Peter Romisher for 40 years of active service. For anybody who, Pete's not here, but for anybody who doesn't know Pete, although I'm sure everybody does these days at this point, he's been a staple of South Orangetown Ambulance Corps. He's been our treasurer, deputy chief. He's served in countless roles over the 45 years and is definitely a backbone to our agency. And with 45 years, just beating him out, is Mr. Glenn Albin, who has been the professor of South Orangetown for quite some time, who, again, is another South Orangetown staple that I think everybody has met Glenn. Now on behalf of our president, Steve Harris, I have the President's Award. And Steve sent me some words he would like me to read. The President's Award is given to member Ron Shapiro. Ron has been extremely active and reliable member of the South Orangetown Ambulance Corps. He's been an active writing member, making the list of top 10 riders for several years, served on the board of directors for the previous 2 terms, and has been an instrumental member of the building committee as we've been moving forward with our building expansion. He has brought his expertise as an electrical engineer into the project, which has proven to be invaluable as we move forward with the project. Congratulations and thank you for your outstanding service and continued dedication to the South Orangetown Ambulance Corps community. And Ron did not make it from his work meeting. On to my award, the Chiefs Award. The Chiefs Award goes this year to Jeffrey Dick. Jeffrey has been an instrumental member of keeping our operations going. Jeffrey serves, you want to come up here, Jeff? Jeffrey has served as one of our engineers, helping maintain our fleet, getting trucks repaired, cycling them to and from shops as they've needed to, as well as handling our radio system needs, reprogramming, updates, going to Goosetown and managing all of that. And it's all these behind-the-scenes thing that the bulk of our membership doesn't see. They get handed a radio, they get in an ambulance, things just work. And things just work because we have people like Jeffrey to help support our operation. So thank you, Jeffrey. And our last awards are our most important. This award, and there's several here, which is an awesome thing, these awards go to members of our crews that their actions directly resulted in the saving of a life. In all of these cases, they had a patient in cardiac arrest, and they had achieved ROSC, which is return of spontaneous circulation, which gave them a fighting chance at a hospital to potentially make a full recovery and leave the hospital. Some of those patients did, in fact, actually make it out of the hospital. Others, it bought them time for their families to say goodbye, see their loved ones, and at least give them a fighting chance. In 2025, we had Binny Baumgarten, Esther Ben Arbin, Ken Enderly Sr., Frank Stevens. Some of these people are actually on ambulances currently. Myself, we're going over that. Lara Benz for 2026. Is Lara here? Oh, come on. Shannon Fagan. XD. There you are, buddy. XD Martinez. Isabella Matthew. Deanna Pickford. Peter Romisher. My assistant chief, Finola Ryan. Monique Saladino. Change that. Our Captain Brendan Skolin. Tess Sirakovsky. Alice Temple. Did you go? No, you don't have Alice tonight? Oh, okay. She's in the EMT school. And Jamie Weckerly. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your time. It was an honor to help honor our volunteers for all the hard work that they do. Thank you.
And we're going to want a picture with everybody. You're going to come up here and line up with your certificates.
Yeah, well, got it. A good amount of people here tonight.
Balance between, we may have to put some people forward. Show people in front, close people in back, yes? All right, center. Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work. And remember, they're looking for volunteers. Okay, we're going to move on to workshop. What's that? I'll let them go. Yeah. We're going to workshop our agenda items real quick. We have on the first, number 3 and number 4 are going to be, we're going to bring up some people when we get there, but we're accepting donations. Where the first one is the military banner payment and memorial bench, so I'll let them go, yeah. So the Raymond W. Demiola Memorial Post 1615 is making some donations to the town, so that's 3 and 4. Again, for the first one, number 3, they are donating 10 years of military banner payment for Raymond Demiola, and they're donating a granite memorial bench to be placed outside of Town Hall. And then number 4 is going to be another bench that's going to be at the Lions Park. But when we get to the agenda items, we're going to call up, we have some people here to come talk to us about it. Number 5, so the next one couple have to do with our preservation fund law that we are hoping to get approved come November. So we're going to open the public hearing, basically to allow anybody who wants to speak on the preservation fund. And then we close it. Then we have, so there's basically 3 parts to it, if I get this right, and if I don't, Allison can jump in. The first one's going to be establishing the preservation fund and creating a community preservation fund advisory board. Then we have to adopt the community preservation plan, and I do see some members that were on the committee that did a really great job. They really worked hard. A lot of time went into it, and we really do appreciate it. So we're asking the town board to adopt the plan, and then the third one is going to be to establish the transfer tax, which, again, I think we talked about at one of the meetings. We kind of looked at all the numbers. We were trying to get a number that generated enough income without being too too much on new buyers, so we had settled in on 0.3%. So that is basically 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is Secra, and then 12, 13, 14. Ooh, we're gonna get through a lot of it. So that's basically those through 14. Number 15, we have, this is which today, I know a lot of people probably heard about the moratorium that New York State apparently is putting in place. We're going to go ahead, as far as I know, unless something happens between now and the public hearing, and do our own, because the state's only applies to certain data centers. And so we're going to go ahead, and unless, again, the town attorney, because it just came out today, so we're just kind of learning about it today. And I think almost more importantly for me is we are also going to do a moratorium for the battery energy storage systems, which is another new thing that's coming up that is a little problematic for some communities. Apparently, if they go on fire, you can't put the fires out. So we are hiring AKRF, who's going to work to come up with appropriate planning and zoning for these things. So in the meantime, it's a one-year moratorium to allow us to study and come up with some, criteria around where they're going to go. So that we're setting the public hearing for that for August 25th. Number 16 is approve a retainer agreement with May and Ryder McKay in connection with the personnel matter. This is outside counsel that we are hiring to deal with some personnel-related matters. Number 17 is extending the contract for the day camp busing to Chestnut Ridge Transportation. And then we have receive and file and the audit. So some exciting stuff, but not a lot of stuff. So on that note, can I get a motion to open the public comment?
Make a motion to open a public comment.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the first person signed up to speak is Susan Dunleavy. And if you don't mind, just say where you're from, if you don't mind, and just, again, we have the 3-minute rule, so just watch the clock.
Okay. My name is Susan Dunleavy, and I'm from Pearl River. Currently wrong page, okay. The chairperson of the Orangetown Senior Advisory Board and the president of the Orangetown Pearl River Senior Bee Club. The reason I'm speaking tonight is to request an increase in our budget. Normally, this would be done and handled by the liaison between the town board and the senior clubs, but I wanted to make sure we were at least heard on this important matter before you determine the budget for the next year. Every year, our costs, of course, like everything else, go up across the board: lunches, events, venues, and buses. As an example, I just want to give you the largest increase to us is the cost in the buses that we use. Just to give you an idea, pre-COVID, if we were to go on a trip, it would cost us between $500 and $600 per trip. Right now, it's costing $2,000 per trip. The costs have gone up astronomically. Another statistic you might want to be aware of is the increase in the number of seniors who have joined the Orangetown clubs. As you know, there are 7 Orangetown senior clubs, and in the last year alone, enrollment has went up 20%. We went from an enrollment of 1,099 members to this year we have over 1,233 members. That's an increase of enrollment the size of an entire club. And while we're striving to provide all the service we can to our members, any help that the town board can provide us would be greatly appreciated. The last time we received an increase to our budget was, because we're going by seniors' recollection, between 12 and 20 plus years ago, because we've had a steady budget for the last 20 years. And in normal times, the liaison would be telling you all the great things that we're accomplishing at the senior clubs and how we're providing the things we're providing to the community and our members. And if you could see what I see on a daily basis, you would know how vital our services are to the seniors and to our community. The senior clubs in Orangetown provide a vital resource and foster social interaction and a sense of community. And this is why I'm asking for your help and support on this matter, because we really do need, we have more seniors that are coming out and joining the clubs, and the money has been the same, and with the rise in costs in the last year, it's just been, we've done the best that we can, and we've cut back in a lot of areas, but we would really appreciate anything the board can do for us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Carol Shalene? You're next, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Carol Shalene. I've lived in Tepan about 50 years, and I've been active in many different civic associations, et cetera. After retirement, my husband Bob and I got active in Tepan Senior Citizens. Bob is a frequent speaker, and I filled in as an officer as needed. We learned about the Senior Advisory Committee, which is supposed to work as an interface between the town of Orangetown and the 7 individual senior clubs. New bylaws were approved by official committees and town lawyers. However, at this time, there is not a pleasant working relationship between the town and the Senior Advisory Board. You may be approached by citizens who will ask for an increase in funding for trips, et cetera. You may hear very negative stories about clubs intentionally cutting corners in the budget process or trying to sign up citizens at a shopping center when they should really be listed as senior citizens at the town of Orangetown, not in one of 7 clubs, all of which have different bylaws. This traditional way of trip reimbursement is a bit antiquated. In this day and age, I suggest that senior citizens should be noted at town hall as active or inactive. We cannot expect that volunteers at 7 individual clubs can maintain automated membership lists individually. The master list of senior citizens should probably exist at town hall, and only one of the certain age can choose any chapter and become active. Trip lists could be established at each individual club, but there is very little cooperation between clubs. We need you on the town board to establish a better framework to make these positive changes, because it does not seem to be working as of now. Thank you for listening and for supporting your senior citizens.
Thanks, Carol. Okay, that's it. Only people that signed up. Is there anybody else who would like to speak?
Hi, my name's Dennis Scherer. I'm a lifelong resident of the area. I currently live in Pearl River for, 45 years or so. This thing about this protective zone that we were talking about, it's 16 pages long, and obviously written by a lawyer.
I'm sorry, you talking about the Preservation Fund?
The preservation.
Okay, so you're more than welcome to talk about it, but we are going to have a public hearing on it, and you can specifically talk about it during the public hearing. if you
I'm sorry, I
prefer.
can't hear you.
We're going to have a public hearing on it. You're welcome to speak now, tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that hasn't started yet?
Correct.
I can go?
You can go.
You can, yeah.
You
You
can
can
speak
you can either
if you
speak
want.
now or speak
Okay,
at the hearing.
I'll wait. I don't care. You know, if
Okay.
you have other stuff you want to do, I'll come up later.
Okay.
I'll come up later.
Okay. We'll be there quick. Anybody else that wants to speak that has not had a chance to speak in the regular public comment? Again, we're going to have a public hearing in a minute. Okay, seeing no hands, can I get a motion?
Don't leave, you're gonna be here in a minute.
He's going
Okay.
over to say that.
I make a motion to close public comment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're going to bring up those 2 handsome gentlemen in the back row there, trying to be shy. Come on up. John? Ed, come on. Don't be, so as we, do you want to speak about it first? Do you want us to vote on it and then speak on it? Okay, you want to go over the, because then the people can hear you at home that are watching on Facebook or YouTube.
I'd like to take a moment to thank Supervisor Kenny, the town board, and Eric Gordon for helping us along with our memorial honoring Ray DiMiola, who our post was named after. Our post has been active since, I want to say, 1970, and renamed in Ray DiMiola's honor in 1974. Ray was killed, as many of us know, in Vietnam at the age of 20. He served 2 tours there. Unfortunately, his last tour, he never made it home. Anyway, this is a tribute to him. And our post is closing after 50-some-odd years, and this will carry on our tradition. And I want to thank Supervisor Kenny and the town board, and also Eric Gordon for letting us have this monument that's going to be placed out in front of Town Hall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we'll vote on it. So numbers, can I get a motion to accept the donation of the military banner payment and memorial bench for Raymond W. DiMiola Memorial Post, 1615 of Blauville? Motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I get a motion to accept the donation of a memorial bench, again, but this will be at the Lions Park in Blauville? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Oh, they're gone already. They're not so slow after all. Okay, can I get a motion to open the public hearing regarding the proposed amendment to the town code establishing a preservation fund and creating a community preservation fund advisory board? Motion.
Motion open.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we do have some people signed up for Sheila Schneider?
I wanted to speak on the proposed real estate transfer tax. I believe it's really a terrible idea and affects many, and it's for the town advantage and citizens' disadvantage. New York State already has one of the highest tax rates in America regarding real estate. And I wanted to give you an example of a senior citizens issue. So, for instance, I've been in my home 50 years. It has equity increased like five times what I paid for it. Because my husband died a while ago, I lose, I can have a $250,000 deduction of capital gains, but not the $500 I would have had with him. This adding of an extra % on top of already the New York transfer tax.
I'm just going to interrupt you just because I want to make sure you understand. This is something the buyer pays.
I'm sorry?
This is something the buyer pays. The buyer, when the buyer of the house closes on your house, the buyer pays it. The seller does not pay it. The purchaser of the house pays the transfer. It's a one-time tax that gets paid on the purchase of the house.
Because I was reading on it and it said it's the seller.
No. New York State transfer tax is paid by the seller. This is a special tax that's paid by the buyer. So I just want to make sure you understand that.
Okay. Well, it's not going to encourage people to come to.
You know, I was a real estate attorney for many, many years, and you'd be surprised how it actually works the opposite way. People are happy to come to a community that cares about open space, about preservation. They are more than happy to pay that extra money. That's from experience, because there's a lot of communities that have it. We're not the first, trust me. So yeah, certainly I'm not a fan of creating taxes, trust me, not at all. But I think that this is for the benefit of the community at large, and a buyer has a choice. If they don't want to pay it, they can certainly go to another town. Again, we did a smaller percentage than what some of the towns are doing. A lot of them are doing 0.75%. So Clarkstown's trying to pass it right now. They're waiting for the governor to sign off. But I just wanted to make sure you understood.
Yeah, okay, because everything I read said it was the seller, so, sorry.
Yeah, you were probably reading about the regular New York State transfer tax, which is different. There is a transfer tax that you pay that New York State, we don't
No,
we don't
I
even
know.
get any of it, so it goes all to New York State.
Okay.
Thank you. Joy Macy.
Desiree Macy, Blainville, New York, and I'm really happy that you're doing this. I think it's great. I think open space is really important to the community, to everybody's well-being. I've lived here 40 years. Now I have grandchildren growing up here, and to me, it's really important to have, more open space. And I know other communities that have a much higher, tax for, to provide open space. So I am, fully supported it, and I'm really happy that you're doing it.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
That's the only people that signed up. Anybody else want to speak that? Oh, I'm sorry. Dennis, now's your moment.
I did get some of my questions answered on that, but I think this is going to go for a referendum, I assume?
Yes.
If I might suggest, instead of 16 pages of legalese, put it in some kind of language that people can print out 2 or 3 pages and understand what this thing's about.
Right.
I understand there's going to be some sort of a board to oversee this.
Correct.
Is it a paid board?
No.
No? Okay, that's even better.
Why, you want to volunteer to be on it?
You know what? I just might.
Okay.
After being in business for 48 years, I'm running out of things.
Okay, there you go.
I don't miss the circus, but I do miss the clowns. Good. Throw it out. What is the actual percentage? I thought it was paid by the seller, but obviously you told me it's the buyer. What is the percentage on the sale?
It's 0.03%.
0.03, okay, that's what I did.
What? 0.3.
0.3, okay. 0.3%, okay. Other than that, I don't think I have anything. You answered the other
Okay,
questions.
so let me, and I will just fill in, I don't disagree with you about the 16 pages.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't disagree with you about the 16 pages. We're going to be sending mailers out. It's all regulated by New York state law, and so we're not allowed to use any taxpayer dollars to try to get people to vote yes for it, so we have to do private fundraising. It's quite regulated, but we will send out a postcard that's very simplified, and by we, I mean the not-for-profit that's doing it. To kind of explain it to people, very simplified. I mean, it really basically is when you buy a house, you pay this percentage, it gets paid at the closing, it's a one-time thing, and it goes into an earmarked special fund that can only be used for very select purposes, and we have the committee that will be, basically will make recommendations to the town board about what to buy or not buy.
I understand the underlying issue behind this, but, I mean, what areas are they looking to preserve? Has anything been specifically notated?
There is a plan that this lovely woman back here, they worked on they did a great job on it. And they identified properties, there's a point system, are they next to a town park? Is it vacant already? Is there historic values? There's actually a kind of a formula that you're supposed to apply for properties, and they have to have a certain number of points, and then they could be recommended to buy.
I mean, I grew up around here, and it was, it was farms and things, and it's like, now every time I turn around, they got a postage stamp, they're putting a McMansion on it. And it's like, why? So, townwide vote, process of selling your home. I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, so anybody else would like to speak? Eileen?
Good evening. I'm not in favor of this. Firstly, it's another tax on a new homeowner coming into Orangetown, and they're being taxed enough. You have zoning in this town that should protect the areas, and I feel that you should have copies of this proposed change outside. There's nothing there. I read it online, and the gentleman who spoke before spoke correctly. It's very lengthy and very, very legalese. Is this up for a vote in November on the ballot?
Yes.
Okay. You are going to have representatives, you're going to have a board. Are all the hamlets going to be represented, like Palisades, Bark Hill, somebody from here, Tappan, Blauville, or are you just going to pick people from throughout the town? Because we are the most impacted. 106 acres have just gone. And now you want to put this on people. Most beautiful piece of property in Orangetown is gone. And nobody cared about it. But the town will see the end result of that when you make a decision on it. How many new employees will you have to hire to put this into effect? You're going to have to hire employees.
Well, you can finish and we'll answer the questions.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any question.
Throughout this, I have been reading about, I mean, I love Orangetown. I've spent 50 of the 54 years I'm here fighting for Palisades to remain the hamlet that it is today, alongside of the other people on the Civic Association. I feel that the more I read about what the IDA does for developers, if we collected sales tax from them, from everything that they buy, the mortgage tax abatement that they get, our taxes would be very low, much lower than they are today. And I think I'm going to start bringing that to the attention of the people of Orangetown, because it's obscene to have 106 acres in Palisades to not be preserved in some way, or at least input. It's a hamlet of 542 homes, and to have an impact of almost 342 residences plus another 100 from the Esplanade, and to let that property go. And now I would really like to know, the group that was part of this, what properties are you trying to preserve? I would like to know. And I don't think you should impose a 0.3% tax on anybody coming into this town. They are going to be paying higher taxes on the new sale price on that house. Just to preserve what? We have zoning, and the zoning should protect the areas. You don't have to hire new employees. That's going to be a cost factor. This is all a ploy. It's nothing but value to anybody. Where are the properties? You have an obligation tonight to say, why hasn't, you can keep turning over that way, Teresa, okay?
Because I'm looking at the person who worked on a
Okay, so
plan
why
and
don't they
identified
come up?
properties.
Well, why don't you invite them up to speak tonight about where are the areas that they are concerned about? Where are they?
I know.
Where are they? You know, I would think carefully about adding another tax to a new homeowner in Orangetown. Their taxes have to be $25,000, $30,000 up, and now a 0.3% to preserve what? They deserve to know where. Where are the areas? Are they Pearl River? Are they Tappan? Are they Spark Hill? Nothing left in Palisades. Definitely not preserving Palisades. There's nothing left. It's gone. Between the roundabout, the Esplanade, H&A, it's gone. So I would like to know where these areas are. And I think every board member here should consider the impact on a new homeowner coming into town. The houses are going for over $1 million in my area for a ranch. Can people really afford that? When is it going to stop? But I just have to say that copies of this should have been outside. There should be no new tax for homeowners coming into the town. How many employees will this take to put this into existence? That's going to be another liability: employees, perks, retirements, etc. It's a no-winner, as usual.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Jim Cleary. I'm only a resident here for 7 years, but I've hiked more in this township than I think anyone else in this room. I do 10 miles a week in good weather, okay? It's one of my hobbies. I support the board's proposal. I was a litigation attorney, and I fully understand the litigation verbal mandates coming down from the state. If it's 17 pages, unfortunately, the state probably requires 17 pages. So they're only fulfilling the law. In terms of the duties of this board, the first one I see is natural. In my hikes, I discovered there are numerous water courses or arroyos or ditches or gulches. Water in this area is a major issue. Now, are we going to flood, 304 and Oak Tree Road again? Are we going to have floods here or there? That whole issue has to be addressed. The idea of 50, 60 years ago that you could just come in, put down gravel and build because everyone was ratables, unfortunately, that's out the window. That no longer holds value. In terms of scenic, I mean, I don't know. I really don't hike for the scenery. Historic, definitely yes. There are, 6 Dutch colonial sandstone buildings on Western Avenue alone. They should not be knocked down. That's part of our heritage. Agricultural, again, I don't know. Open space, definitely. There's so much water here. We have Sparkhill Creek, we have Sparkhill Brook coming down from across the state line. Someone or something is going to have to figure out what to do with the Hudson River, which accepts almost all the water from this township. And the idea is that, you could always build or put in more gravel to get ratables. That is changing. In one of my hikes, I was way up at the beginning of the long path up in, I guess it's Blauville. A woman was at a house, her house, I guess, and she was on a upgrade, and you figured her place would be safe. There were 3 or 4 tons of gravel in her driveway. The gravel was up there because she was getting flooded. 3 or 4 years ago, there was a lady, one of my neighbors on 340, who had to sell her house because her back is right on Sparkhill Creek, and she was sick and tired of the flooding. That is going, I'm not saying it's a problem, it is an issue, it's changing, and we're going to have to deal with it. In terms of the 0.3 real estate sales tax, as long as the seller pays for it, I'm all for it. The issue is there, and it's going to be dealt with one way or another, and I'd rather have it dealt with the strictures of the state and community participation and a referendum on the tax. But trying to ignore it and hope it'll go away, it's not going to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Larry?
Larry Vale, Tappan. I'd like to both agree and disagree with Eileen. And I'll tell you that open space preservation goes back a long way. Eileen is probably the only person, and Jim, that remember 25 years ago when there was an acquisition that Orangetown participated in, mostly Rockland County, up on Clousland Mountain, and it was a long fight to get one parcel of property. And I'd say that it didn't add any jobs to the town payroll. I don't believe it cost the town anything. The amount of taxes that were not collected from that, I think it was minimal, if it changed at all. So I think it's good to worry about some of these things a little bit and check them out, but I don't see any evidence that this will harm the town at all. In fact, after reading the 97 pages of the actual plan rather than the 15 of the law, there's a lot of room for the future in this plan. Orangetown is, people have been saying for a long time, Orangetown is built out, and then it built some more. And as we know, the buildable land, the easy land tends to disappear, and then you get into the very difficult places to build. A lot of these are environmental places. A lot of places, like Mr. Cleary said, have drainage problems and cause flooding, and they're very valuable for nature, but not necessarily a good place to build. That doesn't mean that we should pay the owner more than it's worth. If it's an unbuildable lot, the town should not give them any more money than they deserve, but it's a way to keep the endless spreading of sprawl from destroying the place that we like, which includes some nature, some community, and I think it's a really good thing, and I support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak that hasn't had a chance to speak?
Hi, good evening. Michelle Brisson, Blauvelt, and I just, I think this is a great start to establish this preservation fund. And to be a little thinking down the road about, I mean, you know, there has been a lot of development, and I think Larry's right about now we're developing in areas that are wetlands or, you know, steep slopes. And I just, and I think this is also a plan that can prevent, you know, McMansions being built on tiny parcels of property. You know, the balance of green and community is important, and I think that's why a lot of people live here. So, thank you. I hope this is a first step, and I support it.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak that has not had a chance to speak? Okay. Seeing no hands, can I get a motion to close?
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a couple points I just want to bring out. One, so this, basically, the fund goes to the town who can buy property, so the town would own the properties. With that said, we cannot take any properties by eminent domain or anything like that. So we can't force anybody to sell us property. But if a property comes up and it's for sale, or that we're, you know, the town can approach them and we can use these monies to buy this property. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew we can do eminent domain and take properties from anybody. But just the last couple of projects that have come before us, one of the first things that people say is, well, why doesn't the town buy it? Why doesn't the town buy it? And so this is to put the town in a position where we can buy some of those properties without taxing everybody every time. So that's kind of the goal behind it. And like I said, the committee worked very hard on identifying properties. It's very expansive because if a property is not identified in there, you really can't buy it. So we opted to put more properties in there with that understanding that we cannot take it from anybody. They would have to be a willing seller that negotiates for a fair price. So that's just want to make sure we all kind of understand that. As far as jobs, I'm not aware of any jobs that would be created clerically. I mean, again, if we bought so many properties that we needed more people to cut the grass or do whatever, I guess down the road we might need them to maintain the actual properties, but there's no clerical jobs being created by this law. I think I answered the questions. Okay, so number 7, they're all somewhat related. The first one was to establish the Preservation Fund and create a Community Preservation Fund Advisory Board, and now we're going to adopt the Community Preservation Plan. So I got to get a motion to open the public hearing to again adopt a Community Preservation Project Plan. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we technically have another public hearing, if somebody wants to speak on this particular plan. Okay, nobody wants to speak, seeing no hands, can I? Sure, come on up.
Sorry, it won't be long. Larry Vale again from Tappan. I apologize that I meant to say the part that I agreed with Eileen on, and this involves the plan. She's quite right. This should be for the town, not just for one particular place, and I think that will come in with the selection of the committee, the board that runs this. You should have good representation all around, so that people are familiar with different neighborhoods. This is really a very granular thing where people know exactly what goes on in a neighborhood, and she's absolutely right. Everybody should be represented there, and picking the right board, I think, is critical of this, so thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak on this? Okay, seeing no hands, can I get a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Teresa, I'd like to just throw my 2 cents in. So I fully support this. I mean, I lived in this town for a very long time,
And my tax dollars for years have paid to build the backbone of this town. And I think new people coming in can pay less than 1% on the backbone that we built to become part of our community. And we do need to preserve certain parcels for drainage, like we had over in Spark Hill, like the piece of property we just saved in Nyack, which is on the river, and if you gave that up, you'd never get it again. Like Larry mentioned, the property up on Clausland Mountain that was saved through a preservation fund. When these come up, the town doesn't have money, so we're looking to scrambling in our budget, bonding this. This way, you save a little bit at a time. So I think it's very, you can't identify properties today that by the time you go to purchase them could be sold, or could be changed, or could be this. You have to first get the fund and get some money in the fund, and then when those properties become available, if they meet all the criterias that are required, we could save them for the town and save them for the next few generations. I think it's a great idea, and I fully support it.
I have a question. Are commercial properties going to pay this tax also, or just residents?
Commercial paying too.
Commercial what?
They pay too.
Everybody pays it who purchases property,
Yep.
yes.
So whoever buys H&A is going to pay into this preservation?
If we get it passed in time, Eileen. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I think they already purchased the property, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little late.
Listen, they just closed on the Chrysler building and they paid $79 million. Wouldn't have that have been a nice amount of money? I'm like, damn.
Every piece of property that's sold in that development will pay
Right,
it.
each buyer will pay, yeah,
Every single,
Commercial and residential people.
yes,
everybody, any
Yep.
property that's sold.
right. So, right, when they are buying there.
Also,
okay.
Eileen, just so you know, it's not going to cost the town any additional money or personnel. We don't have to hire anyone to do that, because we don't have to. That's what.
Okay, I think we're on number 9. Okay, can I get a motion to open the public hearing? This is the one to set the 0.3%. Motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last opportunity to speak on the, on the percentage. Okay.
I make a motion to close the public portion on the percentage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Seems like it would have been more efficient to do them all together, but what do I know? Number 11, so we have a secret negative declaration. So whereas the town board has determined that it's desirable and necessary to adopt the following local laws, the 3 we just discussed, and we previously declared ourselves lead agency, and we prepared a full environmental assessment form, and the board has decided that this action will have no significant adverse environmental impact. And issues a negative declaration. So can I get a motion? Motion. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Rob, question for you on the county, the
Yeah,
report.
it's contained in that resolution.
It's in there? You want me
Just
to
about the Rockland County Planning did get all 3 laws. They got the community preservation plan.
Okay.
They basically remanded it for local decision, although they said we'd like to review the plan, but they've had the plan
They had
for
the
over
plan.
a month, so.
So-
I think it was more of an internal thing on their end. I know they're trying to
Right.
blame us, but it's
Right.
really an internal issue on their end, is what I would say.
And they
So-
had it, so they could have
Right,
replied.
and so I would ask just on this, if you just take a roll call to make sure we have
On number 11.
11, right.
Okay, so then we have to do a roll call.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari,
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan,
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're good? Okay.
Yep.
Number 12, can I get a motion to adopt the local law, again, creating Chapter 7D, Community Preservation, Article 1 of the Town Code?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 13, can I get a motion to adopt, again, local law, adopting a community preservation project plan? Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And 14, get a motion to adopt a local establishing 0.3% for real estate transfer tax on the conveyance of interest in real property. Again, it's subject to a mandatory referendum. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That was painful. Okay, number 15. Again, this is setting a public hearing for August 25th at 7:05 PM to establish a temporary moratorium on data centers and battery energy storage systems. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 16, can I get a motion to approve the retainer agreement with May and Ryder McKay in connection with the personnel matter? Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, can I get a motion to extend the contract for the day camp busing to Chestnut Ridge Transportation?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 18, a motion to accept, receive, and file documents in the town clerk's office as identified in the resolution. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Hi, Jeff, thank you.
Okay, the audit for tonight's meeting consists of 5 warrants for a total of $3.1 million. Items of interest, number 4, Deal and Sons, $211,000 for a carbon steel dump body snow plow with wing into the Highway Department. Number 11, New York State Employee Health Insurance, $1.1 million for healthcare benefits. Number 14, Schultz Ford, $300,000 for 726 Ford Police Interceptors. That's RICO money. Number 17, Tilcon, $68,000 for highway materials. Number 19, Troon Golf, $223,000 for golf course maintenance contracts. And number 20, Virtuit Systems, $112,000 for our townwide Microsoft Office license. Any questions on the audit?
So I have a question, it's not really on the audit though, but just made me think of it. Is it too soon for us to know how the golf courses are doing?
They are doing as on schedule, basically.
Okay.
They're ahead
Yeah.
of schedule.
There?
By
Yeah.
a little bit, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, they're doing very well, actually, this
I
year.
mean, between the heat and the rain, I'm like, whatever. Okay.
You would think not, but they're doing
Yeah.
very well.
I know, because crazies like my husband go out and golf anyway.
And just so the board knows, I sent out an email earlier today. We
About the
did
bond.
issue the bond today. We got a great rate, 3.59% over 20 years. And as I mentioned earlier, it was much better than Ramapo's rate. And,
Now, is that because of our rating or something like?
well,
'cause
it's
that was
part
pretty
because of our
significant.
rating. We're AA2, they're A-rated, so they're not as good, highly rated as we are. But we also did that on a 20-year term instead of a 14-year term. So typically, the longer you go out, the higher the yield you have to pay. So we did much better. And like I said, we had 10 bidders on the competitive bid, and the first 8 of them were all within 2% of each other. So it was a very competitive bid. And like I said, we've had as few as 3 or 4 bidders before. The last time with capital markets, we got 13. This time we had 11 initially, 1 dropped out, ended up being 10 bidders. All that yields a better rate for us. So it was a very successful bond.
Good.
Good
Okay.
job, thanks, Jeff.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the audit?
I make a motion to accept the audit.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we do? Personnel-related issue? Okay, so we do have to go into executive session. We do have some adjournments. We have Susan Arroyo, a former resident of Orangetown, Donna LaPoma, a resident of Pearl River, and Helen Batari, apparently your cousin, is that who it is? We're sorry for that, a Blauvelt resident, so,
And Senator Lindsey Graham, I think we should
oh,
add.
yes. Okay, so can I get a motion to go into executive session? We will not be coming out to vote on anything, but we'll be adjourning in memory of these individuals.
I make a motion to go into executive session and adjourn the meeting, the regular town board meeting, immediately after. We are not voting on anything.
I'll second.
Aye. Personnel matters. Something about town clerk.